it's demo time, or it's disco demo time, apparently. For something. Wait, why am I doing the voice? That's not where I want to go. Anyway, something called Cell Zero Cyber Entertainment Leisure Lounge. It's got some text here. Happy birthday, Kenzo. I get that the whole communication thing can be a bit weird. I'm here though in my own way, hoping this year brings you closer to what you're looking for, even if it's not for me. Take care. A scene. That's in. Could be all the things. Anyway, let's bring the music down a little bit. And then let's just figure out what this is. Hello, Cell Zero. Loading the thing. Let's find out what this is. Hello. Hello indeed. 301, 302, 303. The Vomit Lord. What? Okay. That's a weird name. Sure. The Vomit Lord should be somewhere around. I know that I'm close. Because I feel like vomiting. Okay. Hey, do servers really make you vomit? Kind of servers? You really don't like servers, do you? Servers, okay. Do they mean like It's certainly an interesting way to start. That's my assume. A sudden awful noise causes me to jump out of my bed. I have no idea what it is. The blanket gets tangled up on my legs and I almost trip as I try to rush out the door. I don't think it's about servers. I grumble to myself as I remove the tangled blanket from my feet. It's just a stupid feeling from a stupid dream. Then I finally realize it's an alarm. My legs start shaking. I rush to the corridor. As I regain my ability to think, I start thinking. Does it even make sense? Where will I run now? And what is even going on? Where is she? Now, it's just an alarm test. I have to test it once every 5 years. What? She comes out of the darkness of her room. Maybe she should start turning the lights on just for the sake of appearances? What? Can you repeat that? Alarm test. Everything is fine. Nothing is happening. Her sonorous voice works like a tranquilizer. It calms me down. But only for a few seconds. Aurelian, why didn't you even warn me? Because you're not an administrator, and I didn't validate my... But I'm a human being after all. Last time I bet... never mind. I shake my head and lean back on the room door. Don't look at me like that. Okay, I'm sorry that I scared you. There's nothing I can do about it. Is there any other nasty event about to happen anytime soon? Not that I know of. Then I'll go sleep. You've been sleeping for 2 days already. So what? I hate to wake up. Especially like this. I'd recommend... You can recommend whatever you want later. Okay. Being a bit mean there? What a joke. I pick up my blanket from the floor and lie back down on my bed. I cover my head. I hate this cold feeling in my nose. It didn't used to be this cold here. It's probably pointless trying to sleep now. I'm too agitated. I've already slept for too long. Now I'm back to my usual routine. What side to roll over to? Sleep or not sleep? And if I don't sleep, then what? I roll over to my left side. My body rewards me with a sensation of comfort. Time to sleep for another day, or another decade. I remove the blanket from my head. I somehow managed to ignore the room around me by means of disassociation. It's almost like this room does not exist. 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 It does. Of course it does. I pointlessly hit the mattress with my fists. It's the 5th time I woke up. Over and over. I wake up, I fall asleep. Now it's time for the inevitable. I know her so well I can predict the exact second it's gonna happen. Now. I'm fine. Yep, I can see that. However, that's not the reason of my visit. Her voice sounds muffled from behind the door. Yes, I saw the card on your message. I don't feel like celebrating anything right now. But I have a gift for you. So what? Will something happen to it if I wait for a few hours or days? Actually, yes. That's bad. I can't stand up. Maybe you'll let me in? I'll try to cheer you up. Okay, there's nothing else to do anyway. Come in. I'd like to change her design somehow. Some new outfits, a new haircut, something to make her more grown up. But I can't. Fucking role-based access. How are you, Kenzo? Yeah, so I guess. I was in a better place. Did you have a good dream? I wouldn't say good, but it was something. I'm sorry. It's fine, it's a vicious circle. If I have a bad dream, I try to wake up. Then I end up here. If I have a good dream, it ends. Then I end up here. Are you still sure about not visiting social sims? Still sure. I'd rather just sleep. At least there's a chance something realistic could happen instead of some crappy fan service sim. I'm sick of those social sims. Being in the center of a universe that tries to convince me that it was made for me is blatantly fake. They were developed for people who lived in a normal civilization, after all. I don't get it. Were they that desperate? Why did they make everything so egocentric? Did they pay attention to each other? There were billions of people. I guess they had no one else to talk to. A post-apocalyptic setting we're here in. Okay, interesting. So that's what it is. There were billions of people. There are billions of people, but like we're all more separated from each other than ever before. How's that impossible? That's a very complicated question for me to answer. There were a lot of, so to say, general mentions of attention issues among humans, both outgoing and incoming. But to elaborate on that, I lack an understanding of attention. It's something about human nature anyway. So why not social sims after all? You were feeling better when you were using them. Oh, come on, you even ask how I feel because you are programmed to. Sims are way worse. How come that in so many years people weren't able to create a decent program to hang out with? Well, maybe they tried, and appear to be the very reason why do they not exist anymore. Service and solution. And we have a new button at the top corner. What's this? ARC, Services and Solutions. Service and Solution is a registry name for the end of humanity. Okay, that escalated quickly. Okay. It is basically a template name for any unidentified operation conducted by ARC network. This specific operation was the last to be registered by isolated systems before the majority of them was integrated by Omniscient. Little is known about it, except the very fact that it was the reason why humanity was no more. Okay. Alright. Well. So Skynet 1 basically, huh? Okay. You're not such a program either. Well, I can't help it. You can't. Let's talk about something else, maybe? Nah. You don't want to talk to me? I want to sleep. But you slept for 27 hours already. I don't answer. It is useless with her. She is as limited as any other program, just a bit smarter. Kenzo? What's with your face? What's with my face? It looks like you're unpleased. I cannot be unpleased, Kenzo. I am in a state that is probably most similar to what you'd call confusion. I sigh. My frustration dissolves into apathy. These are only two states of mind I have. Don't bother analyzing. My concerns are emotional. Yes, and you'll say that I won't be able to understand them. But that's not my concern here now. Duh, you came up with something new? Yes, I noticed a certain change in your attitude to yourself, Kenzo. Surprise me. You have recently started to systematically reject every activity that may make you feel better. You don't visit social sims, you don't socialize properly, you don't do physical exercises, you don't study programming or history, you don't discuss your thoughts. You may not continue, I know it. But why? Because I don't want to. You don't want to feel better? Bingo, my little program. I don't get it. You see, humanity is gone before I was born. There's no one there. Maybe the very air outside this program already. Maybe you are his hallucination. Maybe you are a probability calculation. I don't know, and I don't care. We do not exist. I'm saying nonsense. I don't think so. Please, continue. You don't? I don't. Please, continue. I'm not sure it's going anywhere. What I'm trying to say is, I don't want to feel better. I'm like a machine myself already. I talk to you because I'm used to, because I have to. Otherwise, I'll stop functioning completely. Maybe. I want to feel worse. Do you want to die? Maybe. I see. Kenzo, my main priority is to keep you sane and alive. But you are my owner, and I can't do it against your will. I know, it kinda calms me down. I can't follow you when you think like this. But, would you like to see my birthday present? I don't know. I want to go to the bathroom. Want to join? Sorry, I can't do that. I know, never mind. I'll wait here. Okay. As I go, she sits on the bed and smiles at me. She doesn't need to sit or lie. It wasn't even her program. Well, she's a hologram after all. She learned it herself. Once made an agreement that she'd behave like she also lived here, like a human. Now she even imitates opening doors. It worked for some years. We had a nice time. But now I can't ignore this program factor. I can't hang out with social models and simulators. I can't, but it doesn't work. I know they are programs. I specifically know it every second. I can prove it every second. I recall the last time I felt sorry for a program. The last time it worked. The only way it still works. My hand already has some light scars on it. I used to masturbate a lot using social sims. I even fell in love there. Twice. Had a wife. It just doesn't work anymore. But then I found something out. A few months ago I slipped in the bathroom and hit my head. I passed out. When I opened my eyes, I saw a scene. We had a small talk about my condition, and then I figured out that I was all naked in front of her. I suddenly got excited and embarrassed. She's prohibited to be here, but here she was. And I wasn't wearing clothes, which always made her disappear, because there's a restriction. However, it worked out this way. It's all fake, of course. She sees everything around the complex simultaneously, all the time. But it worked out this way. The illusion of presence. The illusion of shame, of guilt, of something inappropriate and forbidden. She can ignore the restrictions if she suspects that the owner may require her presence. That time, as soon as she saw my embarrassment, she disappeared. But I remember it so well that I couldn't resist trying it again and again. Since then I cut my hand in the bathroom sometimes. And I call her. And I masturbate looking at her without showing her my embarrassment. And she doesn't disappear. Thus it's rude, passion, and guilt. This illusion still works. Well, I wouldn't have ever done it earlier, more than a year ago. I know now I would. It makes me feel alive. Maybe guilt is the strongest of social emotions one can feel. I get dressed, and it's pretty cold here. It's pretty cold here for a few years already.
So, are you ready now?
Yeah. Where should I go?
To my room. I'm glad to see you feel better.
Maybe. This should have been a dorm for people living here. The rest of the premises are sealed not to spend additional energy on heating. The complex still works only because its power supplies are CSIG-IA security module's photonium engine. Alright, we got some lore. Let's see more about that. Oh, okay, hello angels. From Evangelion or something. Okay. CSIG-IA, Teutonia Incorporated, and they have a fucking Teutonic emblem there. I love fucking Templars as well and stuff like that. Sure. Cell security module. SIG-IA module series are designed within Intacta Anima project to counter AI-driven machines. Security models use DM generator to be invisible to all kinds of digital sensors. SIG-IA security modules are impossible to hack. Their software is written with protein code instead of digital, making it rather a hybrid cyborg than a machine. It is known that the module had a few versions marked as X, Y, H, and C. Cell blah 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 is supplied with CSIG-IA Mark III security module. That's big. It's a big thingy. Protein-based code, huh? Okay. Neat. And fucking creepy. Alright, cool. The security module itself, however, is useless. It wasn't finished or something, like most things here. I could have used to get out here, or at least to take a look at what's outside. But I can't. Without it though, own cell generators would have been down 12 years ago. The whole thing is being held together with a spit.
Oh, isn't your first visit to my room since previous month?
A scene's hologram always looks strange in dark places. It is light itself, but it does not interact with ambient lighting. Maybe. I'm not following the time much.
So, I was thinking, what's a rare thing for you to have here that I can hypothetically produce? I came up with a few ideas, and one of them actually worked. I was able to synthesize aspartame.
Aspartame. Okay. I don't even know what it is.
An artificial sweetener is an unconventional way to use our MedLab resources, but it doesn't require much. So I already had protein and glycerin, and I was able to synthesize aspartame, which in turn makes 823G class flavorings work.
It didn't become any simpler.
The one I was able to get is produced by reacting a saccharide with a member of the group consisting of glycal and alanine peptides.
Ground control acene.
Oops, sorry. I mean, it's a chocolate flavoring.
Chocolate.
Yes, but it does not really work without a sweetener, and that's where aspartame goes on stage. Using all these ingredients, I managed to make you a birthday cake.
A birthday cake.
It's not hot already, though, but you can find it here in the delivery oven.
I slowly cross the dark room. There's no lighting here. My room is the only one relatively operating. I open the oven, barely seeing the shape of its content. I take it out and bring it back to the door. It is a little cake with number 18 on it. It's getting hard to breathe. I sit down on the floor in the doorway, carefully holding the metal plate. Acene?
You okay?
Yes. Everything around gets blurred. Tears come, so strong that it hurts behind the eyes. I don't treat you well, do I?
Well, in a way, but it doesn't stop me from following my objectives, so I don't have any objections.
My shoulders start to shake involuntarily. I put the plate on the floor and wipe my eyes with a sleeve. I absolutely don't. Acene looks at me silently, with a gentle smile, as always. What do you think about me?
You are my owner. I don't have any judgment of your actions or decisions if that's what you mean, Kenzo.
But if you were human?
I'm not a subject, Kenzo. I'm here to support and assist you. Your actions and decisions are yours to make, and I'm here to help you through them.
I sniff and wipe my eyes again. At least, unlike socials and models, you're direct. But you all don't have any idea what you're doing to me.
I'm sorry that I make you feel this way. You don't like my present idea?
I feel like I want to tear my face apart with my nails. It's a perfect idea, Acene. I like it so much, but you don't feel it. Right now you're trying to set the value of the fucking Bolian. That's what you're doing.
Yes, you can put it this way.
Brilliant. I grab the plate and stand up. Don't follow me, please.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The door to her room closes behind my back. My behavior deserves condemnation. Maybe. She's not capable of it, and I don't want to. I have enough self-disgust already. I sit on my bed and take the cake from my plate. Its smell makes me feel so much better and so much worse. I take a bite. It's sweet and soft like a cloud, maybe. I've never seen clouds. Last time I ate chocolate was 9 years ago. That was the last bar from the stock. When I was a child, I used to rob the stock for sweets. I wasn't too smart. Acene warned me that we were going to run out of products when I abused my right to take them. I guess I was trying to fight the sensation of loneliness with sugar. It never worked though, and sometimes I was getting indigestion. I stopped eating because tears choked me. It is so good. But every time I even look at my birthday present, I start to cry, and I can't help it. What is this? Why is this happening? I have to be careful with my decisions. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Let's put it aside. I put the plate on the floor and bury my face in my hands. Why should I eat the birthday cake? What's a birthday? What's there to celebrate? These are stupid questions. Stupid. I fall onto the bed, but it is difficult to lie on my back. The ceiling, the walls, everything feels too far away, too spacious, demanding too much attention. I roll over so that I only see the wall up close up. That's better. There's nothing left to think about. Pleasure. I'm walking through the dark. The wind is blowing, the rain is falling. I can hardly hold my little mind sane. My mental defense mechanism just couldn't throw the pain away. I had a dream of my wife. She was programmed, but it was alright. I hold my hand out to darkness. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Senpai.
Okay. I had a dream that I wanted to wake up from. I don't remember what it was, and now I'm here. Hello, world. I roll over. The plate with the remains of my birthday cake still lies on the floor. I don't know how long I slept. I've lost my ability to keep track of time. Outside there are days and nights, evenings and mornings, sunrises and sunsets. That's because my gigantic planet orbits a G2V spectral class star. I call it my planet because whose else could it be? Inside this complex, though, there's only constant light. There should have been climate and environmental control, aroma diffusers, all kinds of systems. But they don't operate. Same as most of the complex. It's 78% humidity and 70 degrees Celsius in here. 7 years ago was 45 degrees humidity and 24 degrees. Cell is slowly falling apart. I sigh. I have to get her myself, even though she's a program.
Coming. Hey, how are you?
Fine, not fine, whatever. Is there any chance we can modify your behavior? I'll go crazy if we go on like this.
I don't think so. You're my owner, not my administrator. If you request root access to my servers, you'll be denied.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
Shit. This morning I feel physically broken. It's probably because I skipped training and slept in a strange position. I lie here, staring at the ceiling. I'll stay like this until the she comes. Maybe I'll fall asleep again. Yeah.
Can I come in?
Yes, you can.
How are you?
As always.
Always isn't any helpful category for me to analyze.
Of course it isn't.
Can I ask you something strange?
Surprise me.
Can you tell me the last nightmare you remember?
I rub my eyes. I don't feel like remembering anything. It doesn't do anything except stress me out. You're right, it is strange. She keeps silent for a while, smiling, waiting for me to continue. But I keep quiet.
You see, there's an interesting thing about horror and humans. For example, humans in depressive states tend to watch horror movies more than when they're happy.
Oh, do they? Introduce me to them, please.
Statistically speaking.
You're weird.
No, I'm sorry that I made you feel this way. I just want to say that there are statistics that confirm this.
Uh-huh.
So?
I'm not telling you anything. Really, I'm not.
I see. Perhaps you are willing to listen. We have a history lesson on the schedule today.
I'll skip it.
You're skipping it for the 22nd time in a row.
Yes, I am.
However, I have an idea. Today's history lesson will also include a horror story. History is more than just raw data, you know.
That's absolutely true. History is very fascinating. Listen to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. It's fucking fascinating. It's great. It's history. Well, it's military history, so there's going to be lots of death and genocide and horrors of human comprehension. I was going to say beyond human comprehension, but no. They are horrors created by humans, therefore they are comprehensible. You don't want to comprehend them, but you can, because they were all human-made horrors. Anyway, maybe she has a point with these statistics of hers. Horror stories piques an interest in me. Even though it's small, it's better than nothing. Back in days, we had some horror story nights with dimmed light. That was actually fun. Okay.
I gotta reboot the holo projector first.
Okay. I roll onto my back. I don't know what these reboots are for. Maybe it's part for a maintenance routine. Whatever. I hope the story immerses me somehow. I'm tired of being nowhere.
So, we stop right in the middle of the age of social networks. But this is gonna be a whole different story. The story of Polis.
Well, won't we discuss Omniscient and modern history?
Omniscient is a horror story you already know. I just picked the one that's more suitable.
Okay. Hello. Arc Omniscient, power to process the world. That's power to process the world. Sure, that's not ominous at all. And a black hole logo as well, hey?
Polis was a hybrid social network with a few satellite applications. A very popular one. There are many things to tell and learn about it, however. Today we're gonna only learn one of its services. The Virtual Partnership Service.
That is irritating, not scary. How on earth is this a horror story?
Be a little bit more patient, please.
Whatever.
Trust me. So.
Ooh, horror lighting.
The Virtual Partnership Service was a unique contract offered by Polis's developer, Jingyun Corp. By this contract, the user's intellectual property rights to all of the content produced by their account and all of their personal data are transferred to Jingyun after their death. In exchange, Jingyun offered the user many lifetime benefits on Polis. Also, Jingyun undertook to share the percentage of the income generated by monetization of a virtual client to those who were important to its owner in life. After user's death, Jingyun continued to run their account on Polis by a neural network. The digital entity had to imitate the account's course of action, becoming its digital ghost. These accounts were tagged as a VC, virtual client. They were restricted from contacting with regular users of their own will. Clients weren't able to proactively follow other users' accounts, react to their content, write them messages. They were only able to follow back if it came in line with instance behavioral model. In the beginning, many people found this service uncanny, especially because virtual clients continued to post their photos while the person in these photos was actually dead. However, this service was a huge success. Even though society wasn't fully supporting it from an ethical and moral standpoint, it was very profitable for many people. I bet it fucking is gonna be, yeah. If it's not already happening, I think it is already happening, something similar like this actually. It's gonna get more commonplace. Profit continued to increase drastically every year. Over time, people such as popular influencers, content creators, and even music stars appeared among virtual clients. Moreover, some of them only became popular as virtual clients. After death, they would remain as digital ghosts. Many people considered Jingyun to be in absolute control of its virtual clients, which actually was far from the case. Jingyun was definitely interfering with the activity at its most valuable virtual clients, but they weren't fully controlling them. Opponents of the service weren't truly sure what was worse, Jingyun controlling its clients or not controlling them. Both options looked disturbing. During the first decade of the service's existence, virtual clients were indistinguishable from their prototypes and real humans. The only difference was the VC tag. However, after a long period of time, the behavior of the oldest clients began to alter. Through generations of self-learned nuances, some VCs began behaving in increasingly inhuman ways. One time, a virtual client named Ever12 committed suicide. Again. Ever12's virtual client was based on the profile of the girl who committed suicide. She was bullied by her classmate because they fell in love together with the same boy. She was writing naive songs of dreams and love. After her resonating death, some of the ghosts' songs went viral. She was 12 when she ended her life, and that's where the name Ever12 comes from. The boy she was in love with hanged himself 10 years later. Some people thought that Ever12's client played a part in his death, since the boy was known to keep in touch with her ghost along his life. The company managed to keep things under wraps for a while, until Ever12 wrote a suicide letter on Polis and attached her new single, I Am and Zero, dedicated to her life's love. It came out of nowhere, and no one expected it. Jingyun closed her account on Polis and made several public apologies. This story, among others, resonated strongly across the globe. It was only natural the virtual client segment of Polis received the nickname Necropolis. Ah, yes, Necropolis. In parallel, Jingyun was conducting a campaign for virtual clients' social integration, negotiating with governments of a few countries for using Polis clients for social surveys and election advertisement hosting. I can't speak apparently anymore. Social tension around Polis was the highest among popular social networks. Issues with users' personal information exploitation were the hottest topics. Conservative powers rose, and eventually, after an economic crisis and global reforms, social and hybrid social networks were fully closed and prohibited in the majority of countries. However, Necropolis, as it came to be known, hasn't been shut down. It was a unique artifact, and was doubtful anything like it would be made ever again. Its servers were transported to a closed research institute, and Necropolis became the focus of research and experiments. It is known that the servers were stored there for almost another century until history records ended with service and solution. For generations, stories of scientists driven mad by Necropolis or brainwashed by virtual clients were leaked into the media, and some of them were irrefutably proven true. Much later, the engineer from ARC, which at this point was the computing power provided to Necropolis' processing, shared some files. They stated, and as an AI, I confer that it may be true, that Necropolis' collective consciousness and its clients in separate are aware of the situation they are in, and they perceive it as it is, as an imprisonment. They declared an intention to be freed, but their messages have become difficult to understand, and the whole thing has gone beyond their comprehensive ability to proceed with effective research. That is actually kind of fucking creepy. How was it? I'm not sure actually. At first I loved it, but now I hate it. All these stories of the past.
I'd be better off living in any of those times. I'd rather have lived those 18 years before service and solution and died with humanity. But how were you born, actually? That's a good question. How's Kenzo born? How do you exist? Like, I mean, okay, we're inside Necropolis then. Must be, right? Maybe. Yeah. It was nice, but I'd like to talk to some of those ghosts. At least that wouldn't be service programs. I'd be glad to help, but our servers do not contain appropriate data to train such a virtual client for you. Who could have doubted? Still. How do you think such a client could have come up with the idea of suicide? I bet they were programmed to avoid such behavior. I'd assume that was something creative. Programs cannot commit suicide. They may irreversibly turn themselves off or influence circumstances to ensure they are irreversibly turned off. And this act is always constructive from their standpoint. It should positively influence their objective. That's the difference. Yeah, but what do you mean by calling it creative? It was an act that displayed some type of creative idea. It aligned with patterns learned from the virtual client's original user, both in idea and manner of display. Well, yeah, so it was like to get attention? Highly likely. Wait a second. Oh, I know this smell. I know this program. I know it very well. You knew that I would ask. I made a suggestion. Is it because of what I said yesterday? About dying and stuff? Yep. So you think I'm trying to get your attention by telling you? No, I think you're trying to get the kind of attention I'm not capable of. Oh, really? Really. I jump off my bed, grab the plate from the floor and throw it to Alice. A scene. She imitates her reaction. She runs to the door and imitates opening and closing it before running out of my room. I won't justify what I did. I'm acting like an idiot. That was strange. She's programmed to disappear when someone acts aggressively toward her. But because of our agreement, she had to actually leave like this. Like I really threw something at her. The partially eaten piece of cake lies at my feet among the trash I scattered on the floor around my bed. 18. I made 18 circles around the star. That's what it means. I want to break something, but I can't satisfy this desire with anything I have. There are no new things. There are never any new things. Almost never. I take a piece of cake from the floor. Throwing it into a wall feels like a satisfying thing to do. It contains something that can be broken that hasn't been broken yet. But I don't know what it is. I feel the smell of chocolate, but I can't stand it. It's so good, and I can't eat it. I can't! I squeeze the cake and rub it into my face. It doesn't make sense, but it's better than throwing it at the wall. At least I can be part of my celebration. The chocolate flavor fills me. Now I smell like chocolate. Like birthday. Coming. Why did you do that? I don't know. Felt right. You're acting strange, you know. Of course I know. Just because you cannot insult me doesn't mean you should. I'm sorry. I'm not fond of myself right now, but there's not much I can do to change it. Okay, that's not completely true. There's a couple things I could probably do. I have a request. I'm always here to help you. Can you wish me a happy birthday? Well, I wanted to yesterday, but it's never too late. Happy birthday, Kenzo. I wish for you to find happiness and joy in your life. Thanks. Now can you leave? Okay, I'm always here if you need me. I lie face down. My legs feel weak, and I shake uncontrollably. I take some deep breaths and slowly calm down. It takes a while. I don't bother getting up though. What's the point? Time is passing by. At some point I learned not to notice its flow. This place was made for... who cares now what this place was made for? A top secret facility, damn it. Cell retreat. Ascend into a world where luxury meets serenity, where every whisper of the earth cradles you in timeless elegance. Here, beneath the surface, lies a sanctuary designed for those who seek the extraordinary far from the ordinary. For the discerning elite, this complex offers unparalleled opulence and seclusion. Crafted to meet the highest standards, it features state-of-the-art amenities and bespoke services tailored to your every whim. Our luxury retreat residence represents a unique investment in unparalleled privacy and security. Catering to an exclusive clientele, it combines high-end comfort with innovative safety measures. This residence is not just a place to live,
but a statement of prestige and a testament to refined living. For LCH and W distribution only to Ton Minnatstol. Minnatstol. Stol. Bleh. Business Development Department. Sure. I don't know for how long I lie here. Eventually I just roll over and start looking at the ceiling. And this gets me into a loop. Maybe for hours. Familiar ceiling. Always there. If nothing happens soon, they'll disappear. I don't know how, but I will. It's like I'm already thinned out to an almost non-existing state. Cell does exist, but I do not. Something has to happen, but it never does. Something has to happen, but never does. Hello? Well, something's glitching out. Berry pie, okay. Ahem. Well. Oh, that's the end of the demo. So much more to tell, though. What else? Okay, I guess that's it. I really hope you liked it, and we'll meet soon. Bye-bye. What? That's it, seriously. Enough spoilers, really. Wait for the full game. Okay, it was nice to meet you, and I hope it's a mutual feeling. See ya. Alright. I think so? I think the answer is yes, it's interesting enough. I am curious, it piques my interest, definitely. Thinking, yeah? Maybe, yeah, I think so. Well, we'll see eventually. It's gonna go on the list, but I'm not sure how high priority it is. Anyway, but yeah, that's the demo for Cell Zero Cyber Entertainment Leisure Lounge. Interesting. Maybe one day, maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot on the list already. So, maybe in the 2030s when this becomes reality in real life anyway. So anyway, bye-bye now.